our report is no one school, but therefore one has got to start thinking in partnerships. Recently, I spent some time in Kingswood Partnership near Bristol, where 6 schools and a college have come together, still have their separate governing bodies, but where they are able actually to produce, as a result of that, for example, the most incredible engineering laboratory that would never have been a workshop, which would never have been possible if any one school had got it alone. And where many of the young people are going then through routes into engineering, which otherwise they wouldn't have been able to do so. So once again, that comes back now. What's the nature of the leadership? If you go back to what it is to help all these young people to develop their humanity, capacity to be more fully human and so on, to do so in a variety of ways, then we need to work together in order to produce the kind of resources, the kind of expertise, the kind of flexibility that all young people will be able to do. So I just want, therefore, to bring this to an end, to say, please, leadership in education must take into account the ethical dimension and context of what it is to educate all young people, not just some. That involves asking the question, what counts as enabling these young people to become human? What are the sort of values that ought to be involved in the way we teach, what we teach, and how we provide the opportunities for these young people to learn? There was some time ago when I was in the States, a good many years ago, when many of you will have heard of Lawrence Kohlberg, working at the Center for Moral Education at Harvard University. And I think one of the, still, despite all criticisms, one of the greatest educational thinkers there's been in this whole area of moral development and so on. And I went to visit a school in Newton, just the other side of the river from Cambridge, in Boston. And there I to visit some of the work that they were doing in sort of moral development. And there I met this incredible principal. As a lot of high schools in America, very, very large, 3,000 or 4,000. And therefore there was quite a turnover of teachers. And so she sent to the next lot of teachers this particular letter. Dear teacher, I am a survivor of a concentration camp. My eyes saw what no man should witness. Gas chambers built by learned engineers. Children poisoned by so-called educated physicians. Infants killed by trained nurses. Women and babies shot and burnt by high school and college graduates. So, I am suspicious of education. My request is, help your students become human. Your efforts must never produce learned monsters, skilled psychopaths, educated idlers. Reading, writing, arithmetic are important, but only if they serve to make our children more human. So the basis of thinking about leadership in education, in thinking about research into education, all the time, you've got to have in mind what it is in this that we're researching, in this that I am leading. What is it in this that enables all children to become more human? Therefore, leadership at its very center is about an ethical enterprise. Thanks. Is it time?
Thank you so much, Professor Richard.
Oh God, I think it's whiskey. Well, can I just say, I just come back from somewhere, and I bought, because I was staying at a cottage in order to get some writing done, and I bought a lovely bottle of whiskey, which is one of my favourite things. And then when I got back home, I realised I'd left it behind. So I'm very grateful, actually, for this. Thank you very much. Is it time for questions?
Yes, are there any questions?
Thank you very much for this. Will we start up? You're suggesting that we should give the opportunity.
Sorry?
You're suggesting, it seems to me that you're suggesting that education is about involving learners into a discussion about what is to be a human.
Yes.
And at the same time, we're visiting schools and we see that the students are more, possibly even more than the teachers, subjected into this business-like discourse of schools. And in a way, especially since I'm the PGC citizenship tutor here, I see my students going to schools and very soon becoming the kind of missionaries of citizenship.
Becoming?
Some sort of missionaries.
Yes, right, sorry, yes.
And which jeopardizes their professional role. And I think that one reason for that is because the students themselves, they want something else. It seems that they want something else from education.
Yes.
They don't want to be engaged into this discussion about humanity, but they want to visit school as a client that wants, that expects from teachers to deliver literally the object, knowledge, and then go out from there in order to live their lives.
Yes.
I'm wondering whether this kind of role jeopardizes really the discussion about humanity, because taking into account the clients or the students' rights, we should, in a way, adjust our own role to their expectations. Are we going to, are we the new kind of missionaries that we're trying to, are you suggesting that education is about, teaching is about forgetting about what students expect and creating new kind of discourse?
Well, can I just say that when you say what students expect, I mean, I do think that we've now got such a system of education here, which is very much shaped by a narrow view of testing young people, whereby getting through those tests to particular grades and so on is essential for moving up to that step to, both for the school in terms of league tables and also for youngsters in terms of jobs and getting into universities and that kind of thing. So there's an expectation of actually getting that kind of qualifications that's going to enable one. So that's what I call a means end, a non-educational view of things. But I think there's also the expectations of many young people that school will be something in which they can feel engaged, which they have the sort of satisfaction of probing issues that really matter to them. And hence the example of ballet group, hence the example too of drama, of literature, etc., which is a means through which these young people are able to explore issues of deep personal and social concern. Back to the University of East Anglia, back to Lawrence Stenhouse and Care. When I think of something like the Humanities Curriculum Project, which was created way back there, it was a way in which the young people were able, through discussion, but disciplined by evidence, this just wasn't free discussion, disciplined by evidence, drawn from the humanities, in which they were able to explore systematically issues of racism, issues of authority, of relationships, of violence, of war, that was, just war, and all those kind of things, drawing upon theology, drawing upon science, drawing upon particular literature, and what have you. It was the humanities being used to enable young people to explore, and it was exciting stuff. And these young, in which I've been doing some work, for example, recently, several schools, on Lorca's play Blood Wedding. And I've got people right across the ability range actually exploring the ethical dimensions that are embodied in this particular drama. So one has got to start thinking in terms of this ethical dimension about the extent to which the humanities and the arts are themselves the vehicles through which young people can be engaged in what I think and they think is educationally important. Somehow one's got to reconcile that with the other sort of expectations, which I don't think have got much to do with education, but which nonetheless are necessary in this day and age in order for them to get through these particular examinations, in order to advance to higher education and so on. But let me just give an example of this. In order to get into Oxbridge or something like that, or those places, the University of London, you've got to have such a string of A stars and so on. And then, the University of Oxford, I know, said, oh dear, we still can't distinguish between all these people